Yes, just
My name is Štefica, but I know that is very difficult to say for you, but that's why I'm giving you like English versions. So I always say that I'm from Medugorje. I was born and raised in Medugorje. And I always say that I'm like generation of the visionaries. You know that there are 6 visionaries in Medugorje. So let me tell you just first a little bit about this country, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Bosnia and Herzegovina, there are 2 natural regions. So northern part of the country is Bosnia, and Bosnia covers 80% of the country. Yes, Herzegovina is smaller, only 20% of the country, but you are now in Herzegovina. Here in Medugorje you have only one, St. James Church. So all those groups, people, pilgrims, when they come from abroad, they have English Mass every day. You have French Mass, German, Italian every day in the church. And plus in the evening program in the church, and I will tell you a little bit later about it. And the smaller groups of pilgrims, they can book their Mass in the Adoration Chapel. Next to the church there is a small chapel, and that's what I'm going to try for tomorrow. Okay. However, all around those are souvenir shops and restaurants, and each house here is a hotel or pension. So whatever you see around, some people have 2-3 rooms and some people have 100 rooms, you know, depends, but these are all hotels and souvenir shops, restaurants. So later on for shopping, you can go everywhere around, you know, check the prices, you know, go in few shops. They accept dollars, they accept euros, credit cards, everything. So that's and so later on you will have opportunity for shopping. This now is the Franciscan parish, and we always say that this region, we have here all Franciscans in many villages around. So because we even call them uncles, because they saved our religion here. Because during Ottoman Empire, they used to come from Croatia to visit Catholic families, and that's how, you know, up to this day, you know, they saved. That's why people love them here so much. About myself, when I was younger, for example, I used to be more involved in the church things than them. I used to sing in the choir, to read from the altar, everything, you know, and I was good in catechism lectures, for example, and our parish priest was Father Jozo. He gave me just even some books, you know, because I was very good in everything. And then when apparition started, Our Lady appeared to those 6 young people who were like normal people from the village. I said, like, if Father Jozo was supposed to choose some children from the village for something, I would have expected him to choose me because I was good. But God chose them. God chose them. He knows why. Even visionaries, when the apparition started, they asked Our Lady, why us? And Our Lady's answer was, because I need you the way you are. I need you the way you are. So they are all different personality. Even at that time, there are 4 girls, 4 women, and but also our visionaries, they always say, like, we are not privileged. They say God is choosing us for different missions. Each one of us, they said, we are all same, and they said we understood that at the very beginning of the apparitions. So, for example, Mirjana visionary told us, because she was born and raised in Sarajevo. Sarajevo is a more Muslim city. So her origin is from here, but she lived with her parents in Sarajevo. So she used to come every summer to spend some time. People attended Holy Mass. In the afternoon, people had some free time, especially young people, because we loved those feast days, not only because we went to church, but also because we didn't work in the field. So that's why people were happy, especially young people. They had more free time to socialize. At that time in Medugorje, we didn't have cafe bars, no restaurants. So young people used to meet, they always find a place like outside of the village, you know, some place to meet there, to talk, to sing, whatever. And So young people from that part of the village, from the foot of the apparition hill, they used to meet outside of the village in that area. So it was afternoon, and the two girls who came from the cities, Mirjana and Ivanka, they decided to go there to walk and to talk. They haven't seen each other for a while, because in the summertime all our cousins, relatives, they used to come from abroad, from the cities, to spend some time with us. So Ivanka and Mirjana, they knew each other. They decided to walk a little bit outside of the village. And when they came to that area, actually in the afternoon, it's full of the young people. But that afternoon, all boys went to their homes because there was a basketball match. Basketball was very popular in Yugoslavia. So they all went their homes to watch it. You know, there were not many people over there, those two girls, and they were waiting for another girl from the village to join them. So they were walking towards the village, and one of them, Ivanka, she says that she felt a call to look towards the hill. And she saw a beautiful woman on the hill, beautiful woman with baby in her arm. And so that beautiful woman was calling her also. And when she saw her straight away, she knew, she says, I knew from those little holy pictures, it was Our Lady. And she said, Mirjana, look, to that another girl, Mirjana, look, Our Lady is on the hill. Mirjana, that another girl, she didn't want even to turn around. You know, she came from Sarajevo. She says, my parents told me that Our Lady is in heaven. Why would she come here to watch two of us? So I can tell you that people here never heard about Lourdes or Fatima. In 1981, I'm a child from this parish. I never heard that Our Lady could appear to someone. So it was really new for us. People didn't know about it. Mirjana kept walking towards the village, and Ivanka remained there, gazing towards the hill. And once Mirjana came close to the village, she decided to go back. And she went back, and when she came to Ivanka, she also saw Our Lady. She says, in that moment when I saw Our Lady, I felt all possible emotions. You know, I felt joy, happiness, but also fear. They were also frightened. And while they were watching Our Lady, she was calling them constantly to come up to the hill. But they were frightened to do that. They remained there where they were. And then meanwhile, another girl from village, Vicka, came, and she also saw Our Lady. Vicka was really a brave girl from the village. I remember her. She was straight. She used to tell people what she thinks, you know, and a really courageous girl. But when she saw Our Lady, she was so frightened, you know. Even she had the slippers, you know, she threw them away, and she started to run towards the village. So when she came close to the village, she met two boys from the village. And people knew each other here. So when they saw Vicka, she was upset. She was in tears. They asked her what happened, and she told them that she saw Our Lady, and that Ivanka and Mirjana are still there, looking towards the hill. And those boys decided to join her. They said, let's go there to see what is happening. So Mirjana, visionary, she was there gazing towards the hill, and she says, you know, when I saw boys coming, you know, she has a sense for humor. She says, I thought like I will have more courage, you know, boys are coming, so now maybe we will climb the hill, you know, because boys are coming. And but she says, like all brave boys, when they saw Our Lady, they ran away their homes, you know. They were all frightened, you know. And also there was that day, there was another girl from the village in that part. She was there alone in order to collect sheep from that part of the village, and she also saw Our Lady. So 6 of them that day, but they all ran away their home. So you have to know that. Mirjana and Ivanka, yes, and Vicka maybe with them, but another girl from the village, Maria, she was a calm girl from the village, she was not, you know, with them. And those two boys, like Ivan, he was very shy boy from the village, he would never be like with those girls. Like, however, that afternoon, again, at the same time, they went to that part of the village, but 2 of them couldn't come. Actually, one of them didn't want to come. He was Ivan, who was 18. We don't know why. Later on, he tried to join them, but he never saw Our Lady. That girl, Milka, who was supposed to collect sheep from the village, she was with her mother in the fields, and her sister Maria went with them instead of her. So that's how that day, when they came there, when they saw Our Lady, about the same time, Our Lady was on the hill alone, no baby in her arm. She was there, and she was calling them. And that day, when they saw her, they all started to run. They used that pathway which leads up to the hill, and people who were there with them, present with them, they said that those young people flew on the mountain, physically they couldn't follow them. So even up to this day, you know, Jacob, one of them, he says, up to this day, I don't know how I managed, the way I climbed that hill that day, you know. They were like taken up to the hill. However, later on, they found them in the bushes, kneeling down on those sharp rocks and thorns. They were in ecstasy, gazing in one point. It was all, believe me, new in our parish. Nobody ever saw anything like that. So, you know, Our Lady introduced herself that day. She said that she was a Blessed Virgin Mary. She said, I'm Queen of Peace. And then among those 6 young people, there was a young woman, young girl, Ivanka. She was at that time wearing all black. You know why black? Because her mother died. It is our custom. When somebody dies, you know, we are wearing black. Before we used to do it 1 year, now only 40 days. So her mother died, she was young. Her mother was only 39 when she died. And that girl, she remained without her mother very young. She was 15. So, of course, when she saw Our Lady, one of the first questions, she was among those visionaries, she actually had the courage to ask something, Our Lady, and her first question was, where is my mother? And Our Lady said, she's with me. So that's how, you know, Our Lady said to them, I will come again tomorrow. We don't know how all those people heard about it. But however, that third day was also special because some elderly people from the village advised those young people to carry some holy water with them. And they told them, like, bless that what you see. So maybe it is coming from another side, maybe from Satan, you know, bless that. Because we had a beautiful custom at that time, we used to bless our houses every Saturday. Our grandparents used to do that, you know, fields, everything, praying field, okay. So, Vitsa, one of those 6 visionaries, she had a glass on top of the hill and hundreds of people around them. So those 6 young people, they were standing and praying loud. We can hear them. They were praying Our Father, Hail Mary. And then when Our Lady comes, they see first flashes of light, 3 times light. And then Our Lady always comes in a light. So when they see Our Lady, at the same time they kneel down. And their voice disappear. We cannot hear their voice. They move their lips. And then you know, that girl, she blessed Our Lady. She didn't know how to do it. She was young, and she threw a glass of water on Our Lady, saying, "If you are coming from God, stay with us. If not, go away." So Our Lady only smiled, and Our Lady said, "My dear children, I came to tell you that God does exist." So it was also very important for us in the communist system to tell us that God exists. Even later, Our Lady said also many times that big problem of today's mankind is that people don't believe that there is a God. So those visionaries are like witnesses. They said because some of them were able to see heaven, purgatory and hell, because Our Lady took them there, Vitska and Jacob, the eldest one and the youngest one. Physically, Our Lady took them to heaven and they saw heaven, purgatory and hell. So Vitska always say, I'm witness, you know, believe me, this is what we have on this earth, this is only a passage, this is only a passage. And that's how those daily apparitions started. Every day more and more people started to come, and then the place of the apparitions, people, after that, when Our Lady said, after that blessing, people wanted them to mark the place where Our Lady was standing. Although Our Lady never touches the ground, she's staying on that cloud about 1.5 meters above the ground. So, and they marked the place, and people started to take soil and rocks from that place. So then in 3 days there was a huge hole. And then people put the rocks inside, and people erected simple wooden cross, just to mark the place where Our Lady appeared. Then communists came, they threw away that cross. Our people secretly come on the hill, they put another cross. And then communists again threw away that cross. It was like a game. And then, you know, communists forbade gatherings on the hill, and it was against the law to climb Apparition Hill 2 years. So people couldn't go up to climb the hill because they used to keep guard. Policemen, local men and dogs on the spot of the apparitions, 2 years. No one was able to go up, except young people. Sometimes, secretly, young people from the village would gather and try to go there. Sometimes they managed, sometimes not, but more know than he has. Our parish priest, he didn't believe that Our Lady appeared. When it started, he didn't want to come up to the mountain. He was new parish priest, very new, very young and handsome at that time. He was very popular priest in another parish, previous one. But when he came to Medugorje, people didn't like him here. So why? Because he was very strict priest, very strict. He was like, his homilies were so... He couldn't end up one Holy Mass in an hour. So people complained about it, you know, because our Mass is normally 1 hour, you know. If it's over that, then people say, what's this? He used to talk a lot, you know, his homilies. So those were like main reasons why people didn't like him so much. But however, he didn't believe. He was new priest in our parish. He called all 6 of them to question them, and he said they didn't convince him. They didn't convince me. And he said, especially when I saw that girl wearing black, he says, I remember I led her mother's funeral, and he says, I remember that girl. She was so sad. She wanted to jump to that grave after her mother. So now she's telling me that she sees Heavenly Mother. You know, he thought that she's manipulating others, you know. And then, you know, he says, no, he didn't believe. But then, one day he was here alone in the church. He wasn't happy because people were passing by the church and they all went to the mountain. So he said, if you want to pray, come to the church, don't go on the mountain. And he was one day alone in the church. He was praying like this. He opened the Bible. It was something about Moses. And he says, my God, it was easier to Moses. You talk to him. Now in my parish I have a problem. I'm responsible. I don't know what is happening here. There are rivers of the people and I don't know the source of that river. Help me to understand this. And then he was alone in the church and he heard a voice. Go out and protect my children. He was alone in the church. He went out of from the church and he saw visionaries running from the police, because police used to come every day with the excuse that they have to question them. They took them to police station, to psychiatrist clinic, to doctors, to mortuary. They tried to frighten them, you know, telling them sign that you never saw Our Lady. They did them, you know, it was really difficult. So however, Father Joseph protected them. And that's how they started to receive apparitions in the church. But you know, Father Joseph was calmer, you know. It was in the church, we prayed. They used to come for the apparition to the church and it was really beautiful. But then, you know, still he didn't believe. He was still doubting, but he was happy because everything is happening in the church. While Father Joseph was on the altar with visionaries, 6 of them were there. They were all praying, and then all of a sudden they stopped. And church was packed, full of the people. And people realized that something is going on. And that was the moment when visionaries saw Our Lady, but also Father Joseph. So we always say Father Joseph saw Our Lady. So we always say that Our Lady had to appear to Father Joseph to convince him that she is here. So that's why we say that Father Joseph is the 7th visionary. He saw also Our Lady. Not only Father Joseph, many people who come to Medugorje, many people saw Our Lady also. And even, you know, at the moment here in Medugorje, not at the moment actually, last year, Father Leon came to Medugorje. He's Indian, but he was born in Singapore, raised in London, you know, and he's from London, Father Leon. He's really excellent priest. I like him very much. He sometimes gives testimonies, and he's now in charge of English-speaking pilgrims in Medugorje. So English Mass he leads always, and everything that is about English-speaking pilgrims. And he is really excellent priest. And I was present during one of his testimonies, and people at the end of the testimony, people were able to question him. So one of the questions was like, Father, do you believe that Our Lady appeared to those 6 people from Medugorje, 6 young people from Medugorje? They are not anymore young actually, they are now in their 40s, 50s. And Father Leon's answer was, I don't know about them, but I saw her. I saw her here in Medugorje. When he came first time to Medugorje in 1991, he saw Our Lady too. Welcome to Medugorje, but we also say welcome home. Why home? Because your mother is here. She's still here, present in a special way, because she has been appearing on a daily basis, every single day, to 3 of them. To 1 of them once a year. to another, to two of them once a year, one of them once a year, and every second of the month. So apparitions are still going on. Everything is the hand of Vatican. Our bishop doesn't have anything with this. This is first case in the world that bishop cannot do anything about this place. Actually, Vatican took it in their hands long ago. And they formed commission, Pope Benedict, and Pope Benedict was in Medugorje twice, 2 times. When he was a cardinal, he was sent by John Paul II. John Paul II met visionary Mirjana in Rome. He was passing and blessing people. Mirjana was there. He blessed her. She was with Italian priest. And he continued. But then Italian priest says, Father, Holy Father, this is Mirjana from Medugorje. And he came back and he blessed her again. So Mirjana has a sense for humor. She says, you see what he thinks about me. He thinks that I need double blessing. And then, but Holy Father sent her invitation card. And next morning, she met Holy Father John Paul II in Castel Gandolfo, 8 o'clock. They spoke. Holy Father says to her, okay, first of all, he asked Mirjana about beauty of Our Lady. He asked Mirjana also about her love, about Our Lady's love. Usually people ask them about secrets, because you know that there are secrets in Medugorje. Some of them have 10 secrets, some of them have 9 secrets. But however, she says he didn't ask about secrets. But he says, if I wasn't a pope, I would have been in Medugorje long ago, hearing confessions. Keep Medugorje, it's a hope for the whole world. So, somebody asked me also, you know, I'm here all my life, I never saw any signs, anything, but I believe from the very beginning, you know, because those visionaries are my generation. To make up story about Our Lady in a communist system, it would be like crazy idea. Another thing, they took them to the tests, you know, because even our people used to tell, like, maybe they have hallucinations, maybe they have drugs or something like that. But communist doctors at that time, they said no drugs, no hallucinations. They are healthy, normal people. Muslim doctor, very famous at that time, from Mostar, psychiatrist, they took all those 6 young people to him. And it was really like a miracle, you know. That doctor said the truth. He says, those children are healthy, those who brought them here must be crazy. So even Father Joseph said he had the courage to say something like that, because communists tried to persuade him to lie, you know. And however, another commission of doctors from Yugoslavia, all communist doctors, they all said they are healthy, no illnesses, no disease, they are normal people. So they did many tests on them. There have never been an apparition in the history that has been investigated as the one here in Medugorje. They passed lie detector, they passed all possible tests. Even, you know, in the eyes, we all have pupils. So we have many reflexes in our pupils. And there is a reflex of presence. So when I'm looking at you, there is a reflex of presence, that you are in front of me. So doctors, they investigated their pupils during ecstasy, during apparition, and they said there is a reflex of presence. What does it mean? That means that they see. Doctors can confirm that while they are in ecstasy, that they see something, but they don't know what. Do they see Our Lady or maybe angels or something another, they don't know. But definitely they see something while they are in ecstasy. And another thing, doctors also agree, they say they see something beautiful, because they are always kneeling down in front of Our Lady, and that position is not very comfortable. But with all those machines, they investigated their body, and they said their bodies are completely relaxed. So that's why doctor says they see something. Actually, they asked Our Lady, what do you want from us? Do you want us to become priests or nuns? Our Lady says, I want you to do what you feel in your heart. So, for example, Mirjana visionary says, since she was a young girl, she always wanted to have a family, and she says, when Our Lady appeared to me, I was thinking maybe I have to become a nun. And then she says she prayed for that intention. She fasted and she prayed 7 days, bread and water, and so. But she says after those 7 days, I still felt that I want to become, to have a family. Yes, and also Ivan, yes, he wants me to end up. Anyway, listen, we can go to the statue, but let me first tell them here.